This is VOA News. In Washington, I'm Jeff Custer. Western intelligence officials are saying a preliminary assessment of the plane crash, which is believed to have killed Russian Wagner mercenary group leader Yevgeny Prigozhin, was not an accident. VOA's Scott Walterman has more.
A preliminary U.S. intelligence assessment is that the jet was taken down by a surface-to-air missile originating from inside Russia. The Associated Press and Reuters is reporting comments from U.S. officials who were not authorized to comment and spoke on the condition of anonymity. One of them says the explosion falls in line with Russian President Vladimir Putin's long history of trying to silence his critics. The White House has declined to comment. Scott Walterman, VOA News.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump is on his way Thursday to Atlanta, Georgia, to surrender on racketeering and conspiracy charges linked to his efforts in the state to overturn his 2020 election loss to U.S. President Joe Biden. After flying in from his golf resort in New Jersey, Trump will head to the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta, where he'll be arrested and booked for an unprecedented fourth time in the last 5 months. After being fingerprinted and having a mugshot taken, he's expected to be released pending trial on a $200,000 bond his lawyers negotiated earlier this week with Fulton County prosecutor Fonnie Willis. A steadily growing crowd of Trump supporters has gathered outside the jail throughout the day, some waving banners saying, "Trump won, save America." No previous U.S. president has been charged with criminal offenses, but Trump is now facing 91 charges across 4 indictments for his alleged actions before, during, and after his single term in office, which ended in 2021. The U.S. Defense Department announced Thursday they will begin training Ukrainians to fly and maintain F-16 fighter aircraft in Arizona, following English language training for pilots in September in Texas. Pentagon Press Secretary Brigadier General Pat Ryder told reporters the training is expected to begin in October. This is VOA News. Slower than expected, but still moving forward. Frontline soldiers say the Russian defenses are fierce in southern Ukraine as they take villages after brutal battles. From Makarivka, a recently captured village in Ukraine, VOA's Heather Murdoch reports.
The counteroffensive began in early June, and so far Ukraine has taken only a handful of villages, despite months of brutal fighting. Soldiers say the current offensive sometimes resembles battles from as far back as World War I. First, Ukrainian forces attack with artillery, forcing Russian forces to retreat as the infantry moves in, taking over Russian positions. Ukrainian forces then often fight from the same trenches the Russians dug and later fled. Soldiers say they had hoped to move faster, but at least they are gaining ground. Soldiers say the villages around here that Ukraine has recently recaptured from Russian forces are only villages in name, because there's nothing left. Reporting from Makarivka in Ukraine, Heather Murdoch, VOA News.
The number of U.S. workers applying for unemployment benefits last week fell, despite efforts by the Federal Reserve, the U.S. Central Bank, to cool the labor market. Associated Press correspondent Jackie Quinn reports.
Unemployment applications dropped 11,000 for the week ending August 12th to 239,000 people. Looking at the 4-week moving average, which smooths out some of the week-to-week volatility, claims rose by a modest 2,700. The Fed has been trying to cool the job market and bring down wages, hoping that would suppress price growth and ease inflationary increases. Overall, about 1.7 million people were collecting unemployment in August. Other than a flurry of layoffs in the tech sector early this year, companies have mostly been retaining their workers. I'm Jackie Quinn.
New research shows smoke from Canadian wildfires has led to a spike in asthma-associated U.S. emergency room visits. Associated Press correspondent Mike Hempen reports.
One study from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows asthma-related ER visits were 17% higher than normal during 19 days of wildfire smoke that occurred between late April and early August. A second study released by the CDC that focused on New York State shows asthma-associated ER visits jumped 82% statewide on June 7th, the worst air quality day. Wildfire smoke has tiny particles that can embed deep in the lungs and cause severe problems for asthmatics. I'm Mike Hempen.
For more news stories 24 hours a day, visit our website, voanews.com. In Washington, I'm Jeff Custer. This is VOA News.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comments section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.